this video, I will explain how AI marketing agents will change the way businesses operate and how you can leverage them to get rich in 2025. My name is Eugene. I run an AI agency called Quimple, which I built to $30,000 MRR. We built 40 plus automations for businesses in the past 19 months and worked with multiple 8-figure companies. 2025 will be the year of AI agents. Businesses will start trying to delegate as many processes as they possibly could to the automated systems. The thing is that it's still not going to be the mass adoption, because not every business will use AI in a year as what it might seem like when you watch the YouTube videos, because it takes time, especially when we are talking about more complex things that require connection to multiple pieces and softwares. So we tend to overestimate what's going to happen in the next few years, but underestimate what's going to happen in the 5 or 10 years. And I think this is exactly the use case with the AI agents and automations for businesses specific. Especially this will be relevant for bigger, slower moving corps and companies. And this is why I think this AI marketing agent space, as well as the agent space in general, will be a huge opportunity for small to medium-sized businesses that can implement these things faster and use it as a leverage in the competitive environment. Okay, what value AI brings to the business? So let's start with the basics. We can either save time for the business or make more money. It's either relevant if you are implementing these things to the business as an agency like I am, or as a consultant, or if you are the business and looking to start implementing these things into your processes. You can either focus on saving more time or making more money. Obviously, they are very tied together, because usually if you own a company that is doing multiple 6-7 figures, you would probably have employees that are doing different tasks. So you can potentially replace these humans that are doing the task and do them more efficiently. The thing is that good companies already have systems in place, and obviously good, it's a very broad term. But since they do have the systems, in order to replace them, you would need a proof of work or a proof of concept that it's working. Not necessarily with the case studies that you either do yourself if you're an agency or you see other companies doing, but actually the proof that it works for your business and for your specific processes. Because the cost of mistake is high, especially maybe if you are a bit of a business where the checks are higher. So it takes time. That's why in the very beginning I said that don't try to overestimate the adoption curve, okay? But for example, the things that we are looking at are talking to customers, aka customer support, handling paperwork, creating documents, analyzing user inputs, compiling reports, analyzing data, or comparing large sets of documents and data points, creating content, writing emails, producing scripts, or doing the copyrights. And these are kind of the things that are very obvious, and this is what a lot of the businesses start to delegate to the AI right away. For the customer support, again, it really depends on the type of the business. Usually if it's a business that have the repetitive things, they will already have a system in place that is maybe leveraging a third world countries for the cheaper work, where they have the representatives that help the customers, so it's a cheaper price for managing the thing. Or they will have maybe some sort of chatbots already that can answer user questions. Obviously, it's either you will have complex workflows that require an in-depth knowledge of the business, or you grew really fast and you're not ready to expand the team that fast. So you're kind of in the middle of not knowing either you want to implement AI or you want to hire the people and you're actually growing and the number of cases increase. These things are less obvious. And again, these are just for examples that I came up from my head from like what we built for, like some of the things that we built for the clients that we worked with. But again, like these are what we call custom automations. If this potentially can be templatized, so you can use some sort of a template with maybe a RAG knowledge base, and you would upload the information to the knowledge base, and you would have, just a few prompts that are classifying how to retrieve information, how to work with the information from the RAG. When it comes to these things, you would need to build a custom workflows so that it connects to different tools and it do the actions after it worked with either the documents or the data to input it somewhere. Okay. When we talk about making more money, we can also divide it by two types of things that we can focus on. We can either do things that they don't do. I refer to they as businesses, so things that the business doesn't do, or the things that are still done by human and doing more efficiently. So similar thing as here, but these things are usually relevant to the workflows within the business, so they don't necessarily bring more money into the business. Obviously, customer support is questionable, since better customer support, maybe if you are selling the product with a retention, you increase your retention, you can potentially increase the LTV. That's where customer support can directly correlate with the money that you make. But in general, this will be the tasks that are saving time and making business more efficient and not necessarily bringing more money. But the things like database reactivation or building an in-depth relationship with each and every customer can actually increase the amount of money and that comes to the business and the amount of business that comes to the business. So it means that, for example, these are the things that are not efficiently done by humans, or they are not done at all. So when I say reactivation, it means that when a business has the leads that come into the pipeline, and some of them like do the actions that the business wants them to do, but some of them, if they don't interact within the business in a few months or a few years, they consider it a dead lead. But again, depending on the product that you're selling, maybe if you are selling the product that is needed right now and the prospects are no longer interested, maybe it's not going to be relevant to contact them. But if you are selling an evergreen product that is especially the type of a product that people commonly use or businesses commonly use, this will be the thing that can increase the revenue by contacting the people that have ever been interested in your products or services and try to reactivate them offering your solutions. Building a relationship with each and every customer. So it might seem like this is exactly what customer support is, but to make it short, this is, I refer to the amount of time you spend with each and every prospect together. A good salesperson will ask a lot of questions to try to understand the problem that the human has. And again, like it doesn't really matter if you are actually physically selling something through the phone or you are selling it through the marketing materials that you're publishing online. So more time you spend with a prospect, better. That's where AI comes in handy, because if you train it good enough to understand what you need, understand your business knowledge, it will mimic human behavior. And obviously here we need to do the remark is that it must feel like an actual human. So the customers, the final end users, must not know that this is an agent. And imagine if someone doesn't know that this is an AI thing, and this thing literally talk to them for 2 hours trying to gather all the information. Again, I am over exaggerating. It's not like you need to gather all the info, But for example, if we are selling a coaching program for a fitness like fitness coaching program for moms, right? You would ask things like, hey, like, okay, so what are your goals? What's your main struggle? And she'll say, yeah, like I have like 3 kids and I don't have time for it. So depending again on the volume of requests and leads that you have, you would actually maybe ask one more question and then move on to the actual maybe CTA saying that, hey, yeah, like we actually have the same with the same type of clients that like we drive the results. Again, like this is very simplified example. So this is maybe a 3-step sequence. Maybe it's going to be 3, 4, 5. But with the AI thing, we can literally gather all the information about the kids that she has, and based on the information, we can say things like, yeah, okay, so we will actually develop you the program based on Lily's like homework schedule, and based on like how Eugene is going through like the everyday practices for like playing hockey, whatever. So these are kind of random example. I hope you understand what I mean. So it means that you can like gather the information and you can reference this information further the same way as the human would, but the human setters will not have the time if you have the leads coming into the pipeline in volume, or you would need to hire more setters and sellers and thus increase the operational cost. Okay, this is where you can literally increase the conversion rate by asking more questions and spending aka more time with a human. So this is just one example of the task that can be done with a human, but if you replace it, it will be done more efficiently and thus bring more money into the business. Or we, as I said, can do the things that they didn't do, or the things that they don't do. This should be done for either because they don't have time on doing the things, or they don't know how to do the things. For example, if the business knows that it needs to do certain things to get to a certain point, like properly following up with customers, multi-channel, very tied together to spending time with the customers, but maybe it's not that in depth. Maybe this is like an A to Z pipeline management with data points on each step when you are following up with a customer based on different aspects of the prospect details based on like the stage on the pipeline. Maybe the things like researching prospects before the initial contact, before the calls, aka enriching company like prospect details before you hop on the call or offer something, A/B testing, and doing the project market fit analysis, or setting up the outreach strategies using the new tools like a cold email infrastructure or cold DM sequence that is capturing the prospects from LinkedIn based on their interest. So these are the things that business does not do usually. Or if the business does this thing, it's not done efficient enough to be able to grow exponentially by just increasing the output in this specific area. So, and again, maybe they don't have time on actually doing these things, or maybe they don't know how these things should be done. And this is where guys like me comes in handy, where you can reference the case studies that we have, come to us and say, hey, Eugene, like this is the problem that we have. Maybe like if you understand your problem, or maybe you can say, and this is what we, not usually, it's like 50-50. Sometimes like half of the customers come to us with a specific problem they have in mind, just because AI has been like here for some time. They've been like researching the topic and they have already an understanding on what they're looking for. Maybe they, hey Eugene, like we are actually increase the booking rate or webinar through the pipeline. So what are kind of the tools that we can use and how you can help us? Or maybe they can say, hey, Eugene, like our company is looking to integrate AI, but we don't know how to do it yet. So let's actually chat and let's see how you can be helpful. So these are kind of different types of businesses. Obviously, since I receive half of my customers through the content organically as well as the referrals and network, usually the people that are looking, not sure what they look for, but just want to explore the options and 100% like know that AI is needed, they usually come from the organic thing. But 50% of the things that I do are related to the cold outreach, and there people actually need to hear what exactly you're offering, because it's very hard to come to the business and say, hey, I know that AI can be implemented into your business, so let me spend time with you figuring out how we can help. Okay, so here are a bit of the results that we had in 2024. And before that, obviously, we will talk about my predictions and specifically how AI marketing agents will actually change, as I said, the way businesses operate and how you can leverage the technology. But I want to say that I have a bootcamp where you can actually learn how to build and sell AI marketing agents. So if you are looking to come into the space as a consultant or an agency, or if you are looking to build these things for your business, you can join the bootcamp and I will personally help you out one-on-one. You'll also have access to my technical team and all these things. So go through the page and read all the details. This is my agency, and I got 3 main metrics that I was actually considering when I was evaluating the year in one on one screen, besides the fact that like how much money we earn and the financial situation. So we built about 30 AI solutions. I said 40 in general just because I started in 2023 and I was really struggling for the first month since I was running the cold outreach, and I was not sure how to properly sell these things. So most of the solutions out of like the 40 plus were built in 2023, and I'm not sure why it's duplicate here. So 35% of them were AI agents and 65 were automations. So an agents were either the voice or text based, and for the text based, either internal or external. So internal agents being, and I show a lot of them on my YouTube channel. I have more than 130 videos that I published in the past 6 months. And I showed some internal agents of the companies where we implemented the agent that is interacting with the knowledge base on the backend and with the company management systems and ERP and retrieving information in a conversational manner. So this is what I refer to the internal agent. But the external, these are usually the chatbots that are implemented into the landing page of the website, or if, for example, and this is more of the use case that we've been focusing on, is if the company, if it's like especially B2B company, and they have the logging page, right? So there's like the main landing page where most of the customers land, and there's logging where most of the some customers that all of their customers, so the prospects landing and the customers are logging in to recreate the order or get some details about the status of the products they are buying or the services that they are purchasing. So we were implementing the actual external chatbots into this areas, so the locked areas that are locked specifically for the customers, because usually the businesses will not have, again, so if we are talking about the B2B, they will have the prospects landing into the website, but they maybe not that interested into the chatbots that are displaying the widget to all of the customers, just because the implementation will cost them multiple thousands of dollars and they need to see the return on investment. But when we are implementing this type of widgets to the companies into their like dashboard portals, so they have the customers that logging there either weekly or daily, and there they have a lot of the questions regarding either the portal, either the service or the products that they use, and this is where the chatbots comes in handy. Anyways, so what I was saying is that about like 35% still, it's, as I said, it's not a lot, were actual agents, and 65 were the automations where we're connecting different tools together, and there were not input information needed from a human as an agent. So the difference between an agent and an automation is that usually with agents, either you or your customers input the information through the voice or text to get the output somewhere, either like visually to you as the chatbot interface, or through the on the update in a system. We grew the team to 6 members, 2 developers, 2 account managers, 1 automation specialist, and me automation specialist being, essentially, this is a duplicate of me. So this is a no coder that is very proficient with all the tools that we use and acts like a lead with the developers. I actually have 1 full-time and 1 part-time developers in the team right now, but we're looking to actually create new offerings, and this is what I'm going to mention in the second part of the video, that will require more developers to scale it up and productize our services. And got huge reputation boost because of my content. I say boost just because I already had some reputation when I was starting to record the videos, even though it was very minor, because I've been working with multiple companies at that time, and already we're getting kind of referrals, was partner up with multiple guys from the industry. Usually these are this industry specific consultants, which were driving prospects to my agency. So I got, at the point of the recording, 4,500 YouTube subscribers. This is what I'm most proud of. My email newsletter, this, like, we got 2,800, and open rate, I don't really satisfied with it. I would love it to be 45%. And I grew LinkedIn to almost 4K by, I think, in a few months. I will record a separate video on how I grew and how I would actually, what I would use differently in terms of the content. If you're interested, let me know in the comments and we'll figure something out. Okay, so these are my, sorry, the last thing, the goals that we've been focusing on were 70% saving time and 30% of making more money and driving more money to the business. And unfortunately, this is what I think not going to be relevant in 2025 as much, or if I want to grow, and I want, this will be the thing that I need to change. Not because I wanted to focus on saving time, it's just because of my offer was not that great and was not very specific enough to actually explain to people how AI can bring more money into the business. Because when we're, as I said, when we were talking about like saving time, it's pretty straightforward. You like automate certain things that done by human, that's it. When we're talking about like making more money with the reactivation, for example, it's pretty simple, right? So you get the leads and you reactivate the leads. You maybe call, email, or like get in touch with them and try to sell the services. But again, like, these things were not relevant in the beginning of 2024. Plus, after the introduction of the good voice AI platforms, and once they started to implement more and more features, once the latency started to go down, I was still like getting a lot of the prospects that wanted to automate us very specific things. So my prediction for 2025 would be that there will be more and more materials, education, and content on how to automate repetitive tasks. And this will lead to this that I will explain later. And that AI marketing agents will become a huge leverage. When I say marketing materials, it means that besides the education space, there will be more and more tools that can help you to build automations as simple as one click. And if you go to even make.com, they are introducing like the AI agents where you can input certain information, what you're looking for, and it will create the sequence for you. It's very, very bad right now. It's like, it's pretty impressive compared to what was available to us in 2023, but it's not super usable. It's doing a lot of the mistakes, but it will come there, right? And with the softwares like Bolt, that can literally build you the SaaS within just a few prompts, this will be more and more relevant. So it means that in the next 2 to 3 years, most repetitive tasks will be automated. Again, this will see the actual parabolic curve into all of the automating things in 2025, but I think most of the businesses will still be just exploring and not actually implementing everything yet. So, and these things will be either automated by agencies like me, where the business will hire us to do the thing and then either run the thing themselves or let us run it on the retainer, or they will be automated by the businesses by either, again, themselves or with a consultant. So once they hire, for example, they have a technical team, their technical team is not doing the thing, that they are not professionals in the automation space, they can hire a consultant that will explain them the tools and the strategies that they should use. They will maybe dedicate one person from the team on doing the thing, and this person will communicate with the developers if it's needed. And then this person, using this one-click tools and a lot of the educational materials, will be able to automate a lot of the things. So this is kind of where the space is going at. I'm not saying that there is no leverage for the AI agencies. I think the AI agency space and the consultancy space is huge, and obviously this is not as straightforward, and I'm not saying that all the businesses will just do everything themselves. No, but you need to be aware of that. For example, most of the things that we are building right now will be able to be automated with one click in the next few years. Okay, and this is the reality. That's okay. There's nothing that we can do. The only thing that we can do is create new offers and position ourselves as either a consultant that will help the businesses to grow. And I don't like the consultancy space if you're starting out, just because it's harder to grow, since you need to have a brand, for example, like me, or you need to have a really, really good offers that would usually result into bringing more money into the business. And this is where we come to the AI marketing agents, right? I like this just because this is exactly what most businesses do not do, right? And it's easier to sell something that the business doesn't do rather than actually replacing the process that they currently do manually. Again, I'm generalizing it, but here, for example, business would usually talk to customers, right? Would usually handle the paperwork, do the reporting, and generate content if it's relevant. So if you come to the business and say, hey, we'll automate these things, it will be harder to sell than saying things like, hey, we can do this thing, you're not doing this thing, and this is what it will do. The same thing applies if you are actually a business and looking to implement AI into your offerings. Obviously, it's easier to start with something that does not require firing your whole department or actually making structural changes inside your team. You can just come, review the business, review the guys like me, and see that, okay, so let me first implement the things that do not require me to change the company structure, see how it's valuable for the business, and then do all other things. And I think that's where SMBs can use, this is what SMBs would use to go to the next level, just because of the attention to the details. This is an actual leverage that can be used. When we, I say AI marketing agent, essentially, to simplify it, this is an AI employee that is trained to research your prospects, create personalized strategies, angles, and offers, and then do certain things with this data. A few disclaimers. First, I'm not going to go in details with the use cases, how specifically it can be used. If you want me to do that, let me know in the comments. If we get to 100 likes, the next video will be about the AI marketing agents. Also, if you want to learn in depth, you can subscribe either to my newsletter and get all the templates for free, or you can join the bootcamp to get all the information that you need and get one-on-one support from me and my team. Okay, so when I say research, it's essentially an enrichment, and this can be used in a lot of different ways, from the actual pipeline management, right? So once you have the prospects coming into the pipeline and you actually researching the prospect, you're researching all the information, all the intents of this prospect, if he is new or if he used to work with you, and identify the things why he was not able to go to the next step. So do the actual analysis the same way as human would, right? Human would. Or if we are talking about database reactivation or relationship building, same thing, researching, enriching the company or the prospect personal details to reference them in the outreach. Then do the actual creation. So depending again on the business, like on your like marketing strategy, on the business pipeline, so it can either create the emails, it can create the cold calling scripts for your team, it can create the DMs, it can create the follow-ups. So this is where the actual creations come in handy. Obviously, the creation will be done by by combining the enrichment information on one place and the knowledge base, the RAG knowledge base on another place. So you would have the RAG knowledge base here, right? So RAG, and you would have the enrich details here, and you would combine them, you would send them to your master agent that will actually create the information that you need, okay? Like the scripts and like follow-ups, emails, and all these things. And the final part is the actual action, aka doing something with this data. It really depends on the pipeline flow. If you have the cold prospects, if you're trying to do the cold actions, warm actions, or hot actions. So for example, cold, if you are essentially reaching out to the prospects in cold and offering your services or products, so you are researching your potential prospects, you're creating the actual campaigns, and then you're sending these campaigns to the cold prospects. To the warm prospects, this is where reactivations come in handy, or the pipeline management, where the prospects are kind of warm, they already understand what you're doing, and you need to create more, you need to have more angles, you need to create better offers, and you need to push them to the actual action. Or in hot, if you have the client and you want to upsell additional services or products to them based on the previous data that was gathered about the company, based on their behavior. And we are obviously talking about emails, calls, SMS, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Instagram. So it doesn't really matter on the channel. So you are building a system, right, that can operate through these channels. I like the fact that this is very, very hard to build a software around. So when you are dealing with automations, you are, as an agency, competing with other softwares. If you're a business, it's a really good thing for you, right? So you have agencies that will drop the prices because of the competition. You have the tools that are making it easier for you to kind of implement these things. So if you're a business, it's really good news. If you are a agency, you are, besides the fact that you're competing with guys like me, you're competing with other tools. Here, it's very hard to build an actual tool, okay? It's almost impossible. What can be done is you can productize it, and you can build the whole frame on how to do these things and actually kind of implement them into the business, or implement it into your business by like purchasing something cheap from someone and customizing it. And this is where my focus in 2025 will be. So you should subscribe to the channel and follow along. I will present the ways how I would introduce this thing into the market. If you didn't know, I am actually the one who created the AI marketing agents thing, just because like This is not something new. This is just a combination of things that were already known. And I actually own the AImarketingagent.com domain that I'm going to leverage into my business in the beginning of 2025. Okay guys, I hope you liked the video. Subscribe, like the video, 100 likes. The next video will be also about the AI marketing agents, but specifically about the case studies. So thanks for watching. Peace.